Alright, so this video is gonna talk a little bit more about what's kind of at the heart of the whole point of these videos, anyways. We're not quite there yet. That'll be basically the last videos, to be honest with you. Most of this is just setup, context. Um, but this is, like I said, it's kind of my personal story with it, so I can't speak to anybody or everybody else. This is just, obviously, like I said, my own journey with Star Wars from the beginning to now. Um, so first there was like all the movies and stuff, right? Those are the other videos we won't get into again, but just the setup where we are as far as like my story goes. So then there's like nothing. There's no Star Wars. There's nothing. There's a few like Ewoks came out, and I wasn't a big fan of. There was Droids. I watched that when it first came out, and I mean, even as a kid, I wasn't a big fan of Droids. I was like, yeah, this is kind of, you know. I don't. If I watch it now, I might be like, yeah, it's kind of cool, but I doubt it. And Ewoks, I think after Return of the Jedi, when I was a huge Ewok fan, it really started to turn for me pretty quick. As far as I mean, I don't hate them. I don't want to go all Boba Fett and Robot Chicken and just blow them all up, kind of a thing. I don't have that kind of animosity towards the Ewoks, but they definitely they don't do anything for me anymore. I think they're nice, cute little cuddly things. In fact, that Celebration, I believe was the last one. Not this last one we just had, but I mean the one before that, Celebration 6. They had a basket of Ewoks, which I just thought was the awesomest thing. I got my mom a basket of Ewoks. They were almost out when I got one, but it was cool. I got her one. For that, awesome. But the point, of course, being when the Ewoks came out, I wasn't even really that interested. It didn't mean anything to me. Didn't do anything for me. So that's kind of what was going on. Then we had some comics that were going on, and I never have been, probably never will be a comic reader. Not a, how do I want to say this? I don't have anything wrong. I don't have any problem with comics. I don't think that they're dumb or anything, or people who read them are dumb, or they're for kids, man. Who get? No, it's not. It's just not. It just doesn't appeal to me. Because I don't have any problem with it. Comics has just never been my thing. But the awesome stories in the comics too. By the way, especially I mean you see all the Marvel stuff coming out, just and some of the stories you read about in the old stuff, the Star Wars comics and stuff. You're like, wow, that's pretty cool. That kind of stuff. They had some cool storylines and stuff. Um, so definitely cool stuff and great artwork. I mean, some of the best artwork that we have for Star Wars came in like comics and expanded universe. I'm just saying that even though it's Legends now because I'm talking in the timeline, in the time back then. This is the expanded universe stuff. All right, not speaking as of now and where it is. That comes later again. This is a journey. So, but I wasn't a big comic guy. I didn't read comics. Comics was my thing, and so Star Wars comics specifically, even though interesting because they're Star Wars, never really sold me. I was a movies guy. That was it. I watched the movies. I loved the movies. That was it. And we had the movies, and they were done. And who cares? When they first came out, and I don't remember what this year was. My dad got the Heir to the Empire trilogy. He was reading. He'd actually just read the first one. Well, no, he'd read the first one. He was just finished reading the second one. The third one hadn't even come out yet, but obviously he was going to read that. And he said, "Oh, you should read these. These are pretty awesome. These are great." And I'm like, "I don't want to read these." He's like, "Yeah, come on, man. It's Star Wars." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. Star Wars is awesome. I want to read these. I want to read Star Wars books. I want to see the movies. I don't want to have to do with any of these stupid books. They're just books. There's some dude writing some weird story that he's calling Star Wars. I'm not interested." So I had my sort of brush with the Thrawn trilogy then. I was like, forget it. And I wasn't ever going to get into the expanded universe, like ever. It just wasn't interesting to me. I liked movies. That was it. And it wasn't a hatred towards that kind of stuff. It didn't appeal to me. What I wanted was more movies, obviously. And that wasn't happening. So just kind of let bygones be bygones kind of a thing. And what happened was I was working at a place. and we were selling the what was the New Jedi Order at the time, and we were only about 4 or 5 books into the New Jedi Order when what happened was if they couldn't sell books, and it still kind of happens sometimes, but I think not as much. What would happen was instead of like just sell them for discount or something, they would just not sell them. They're kind of like a magazine where if November's issue doesn't sell, when you get to December, you don't sell them anyways at a discount for November. You just they're gone, and now you're selling December. So what happened was we had all these new Jedi Order books because like the new one was coming out or something like that, and so they were unsellable. So what they did, and it wasn't just these; they had a lot of books like this, but they threw like 3 or 4 of the new Jedi Order books in the back, weren't even in order. I actually had to go get the other books to make sure they were in order. And what they do is they tear the cover off so that you couldn't sell them because that's kind of like a legal thing. If the cover's torn off, you can't sell it. I'm not really sure why that is exactly the way it is, but I do understand that is the way that it is. So, and they put them in the back, and I'm like, I'm not really interested in this, but it's free, and it's sitting right there, and it's the new Jedi Order. Kind of interesting, and I still love Star Wars, of course, and I haven't had a nice gulp full of Star Wars in like a really long time. Um, so, and I don't remember if where in the timeline as far as Phantom Menace and all that stuff had happened, if that was a thing yet or not. But so I got these books and I actually read them, and I was like, this is pretty awesome. The different characters, I had no idea who these people were because I never read any of the books or anything up till then. And I just really started getting into reading some of the books, and it was all new. This is just my set. This is the new Jedi Order, and that's what I was going to read. And but then through them, because you would finish and there wouldn't be a new one, so I'd go through because they're all used now. You just go down and use books and get them for like a couple bucks or something like that. I ended up getting a ton of them for like just a couple bucks a piece in hardback, which is awesome. Um, but so then I actually eventually went back and read the Thrawn trilogy, of course, and I was like, holy crap, that's pretty. I don't think it's like a lot of people think it's like the god of books. Like if you never read any other expanded universe stuff, you just read that three. And I don't feel that way at all. In fact, my favorite expanded universe book is a book in the New Jedi Order. I believe it's called Traitor, and it's basically where uh, Vajir, I think was the character's name, had Jason Solo like kind of captured or something. Was kind of reprogramming him, and they had this huge discussion about the Force and like the real like physical, not physical like you can grab it, but the almost the physics of and the actual Force, how it really works, how it doesn't work, perception, all this stuff. It was just like the awesomest thing ever. If you really want to know about the Force, at least from that perspective, and everybody's like, well, that wasn't really it. They were lying it. Whatever. Everything they said fit with everything that happened. It's just like a detective story where all the pieces, they just fit. It's kind of like taking all these little things that everybody else has just thrown out as story ideas and just fun, and actually weaving them into this theory of the Force. Holy crap, that is just awesome. So that's like my favorite book. Um, and then the only time Star Wars actually like made me like cry, like not like bawling and ooh, but like actual a little bit of tears coming out, and and go. I was sitting in college and I was reading this book, the New Jedi Order thing, and it was I'd say it's spoiler, but to be honest, hardly anybody's going to go back and read these books now that they're not canon, and these books have been out for so long. If you haven't read them, what are the chances you're really going to read them? But uh, yeah, see now I made myself second guess whether I want to say it or not, but I'm just going to say it. Anakin Solo, which is the youngest of the Solo kids, goes out in a blaze of glory essentially, but I really like that character of all the like characters that have come out, other than like Mara Jade and stuff. But I mean, as far as like especially the kids and the younger characters, he was my favorite. I love that character. So when he went out in like blaze of glory, that actually like brought tears to my eyes. I'm sitting there in the middle of a damn quad at college reading it, so I had to kind of I didn't go back to class after that, but So that was my. Those are some of the books that really meant a lot, and everybody always whines about Serpentine, which is a place where Chewie lost his life, and I can't believe blah 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 blah. I like Chewie. I have no hatred for Chewie whatsoever, but he's definitely not like one of my top three favorite Star Wars characters or anything. So the fact they killed Chewie off, as long as it was for dramatic effect, it made sense. It wasn't just like, I don't know, he's dead. Everybody's like, well, they dropped a moon on him. Like, who cares? If you honestly could think of a scenario in which a moon, like a rogue moon coming through our galaxy, through our solar system, crashing into the Earth and like totally obliterating it is not dramatic, then you're an idiot, honestly. Now, I'm not saying you're an idiot for not liking that. It's absolutely. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But I'm saying if you're like, oh, it was so stupid, the whole scenario. It's like, no, it was a completely dramatic moment. Whether they played it well or not is totally. If you think that was stupid, you know, okay, but it wasn't stupid because a moon fell on him. It's like, dude, this was an extraordinary dramatic moment. This planet was doomed. There's a whole moon crashing into it. That's actually dramatic. The execution, that's debatable, but it didn't really have a huge impact on me other than I was kind of like stunned for a while. I'm like, they really just kill off Chewbacca? Holy crap, that takes balls. And then he stayed dead, and I was like, "Holy crap, that's awesome!" And everybody's always complains, "Well, I can't believe people keep staying dead, or they can't stay dead." Well, they killed off Chewie, and he stayed dead, and everybody just whines about that. So, anyways, I think, and of course, they wanted to kill off Luke like several times, and then George wouldn't let him do it. Total discussion for another time. But that was my first brush with the expanded universe, and kind of my impressions and why it pulled me into that and why I really I got to have Star Wars again, basically. I mean, was it the same as the movies? No, it wasn't the same as the movie. It was different. It was a very different thing. But it was still awesome and it was still Star Wars, and that's why the hell I love the hell out of that thing. So that's, like I said, goes a little bit to the whole point of these videos and what'll be brought up a lot more later. But that's definitely important to note how these things affected people when they got a hold of this stuff. So we'll end that there because, again, this is another one running a little bit longer than intended. I'm not keeping any kind of strict notes. This has to be this long, but like I said, somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes. Seems like the 5 minutes is probably not going to do very well for most of these, especially because I have a tendency to ramble. So we're going to end this here and go on to the next one.